It's time to start your peppers and your eggplant seeds. These guys take a while. Do you like them spicy or do you like them sweet? Let's talk favorites of both of these along with some tips or things that I found has helped me start pepper seeds because sometimes they can be a little difficult. Now let's throw this one eggplant in here because they can be just as difficult. Knock a few tips out before we talk about those favorites. Start with seed soil, not potting mix. It's too chunky. Wet this up real good before you put it in your containers. Sometimes as a beginner, I see people starting their seeds in totally dry medium and not going to absorb the water, and your seeds are just going to stay dried out. You want them moist and warm. I've tried several methods, but for me, using a small seed tray that has a humidity dome to keep the moisture in and keep your seed moist while it's waiting to germinate. Using a heat mat to keep the bottom of your tray warm because your soil is damp and it's going to be cooler than your air temperature. And some sort of lights. Some pepper seeds need a little light to germinate, and even if they don't, as soon as they come up, you want that light to be pretty close. Of course, the domes are off of these snapdragons, and so the lights have dropped down. But you want them to have that light so you don't end up with those tall, skinny, leggy plants. Peppers and eggplants both like a warm temperature to germinate, and sometimes they can take up to a week to 2 weeks to germinate. And a mister, like one of these you use for your hair, to keep the top of your soil damp while you're waiting on your seeds to germinate. Sweet peppers first. This Ajvarsky sweet pepper has been my favorite for so many years. I have grown it over and over and over. It grows into a pretty good size, sweet, thick wild pepper that is great for grilling. I use it for anything I would use a red pepper for, and because I love this one so much, this one is supposed to be comparable, and it's a new one for Baker Creek this year, the Lesia. So I'm adding this one because it is supposed to be another really large red pepper that is very prolific. I'm starting poblano from seed for the first time this year. Found a couple of new recipes that we really like, so I'm going to grow my own. A sweet snacking pepper that I've grown several times in the past that I really like is this Jimmy Nardello. The Lushauer paprika. I've grown this one in the past, but someone had given me the seed, and so I have not been able to find it the last couple of years. I'm mainly going to grow this one to dry it and grind it up for paprika because I use that in cooking a lot. Jalapeno, I've had this Craig's Grande jalapeno seed for a long time. It's our staple. It's called Buena Mulata. It is hot. And then last but not least is my eggplant. This ping tongue eggplant, I always start my eggplant the same time that I start my peppers. I like it because it stays tender and it doesn't have a whole lot of seed in it. So to me, this one is really good for chopping up and sauteing with other vegetables. I learned to make baba ganoush, and I love hummus, and so it's similar. I'm in zone 8AB in Northeast Texas. It's time.